For my observation, I observed at an academic library with a large library system, and for part of my observation, I was able to sit down with various staff members and learn about their roles in reference services. The library I observed at has multiple liaison librarians that play an especially unique role in reference services, and the meeting helped me to really define what reference is, so I would like to tell you about it in this presentation. The role of a liaison librarian really is all-encompassing. They do a variety of tasks and projects, and every day is different. One day they could be meeting with a student discussing a research project, and the next day they could be at a conference advocating for implementation of this type of position. They have the opportunity to have this unique kind of role because the library has a peer-led service model where student workers actually run the combined reference and service desk and free up the time of the other staff librarians. Liaison librarians are either subject or department specific, typically based on their past experience and specializations, but some dive into their new roles with no background. One librarian I spoke with had a background as a systems librarian and somehow found herself in the new role as the math department's liaison. Though they do a variety of things, the liaison librarians have three main functions within the library. They work with professors and departments to develop curriculum, they teach classes on how to use library resources and do research, and they meet with patrons one-on-one to work on projects and research. When I think of reference services in an academic environment, I typically think of librarians helping only student patrons. From my observation, I was able to see that librarians in academic libraries actually help a variety of patrons, from students to professors to even department heads. At the library I observed, who a liaison librarian works with really depends on what department they're a part of. So while a librarian in the education department may mostly meet with department heads to develop curriculum, a librarian in the psychology department may meet mostly with professors doing research, and a librarian in the biology department may meet mostly with students doing class projects. It also depends on the type of courses being taught in the librarian's department, because some courses are really heavily tied to research in the library and some courses are more independent and don't require as much interaction. The different meetings that liaison librarians deal with include one-on-one meetings with both professors and students, department meetings to develop curriculum and subject guides, and meetings with various courses to advocate for library resources or to instruct. The first librarian I sat down with actually said, "I didn't become a librarian to teach. If I wanted to do that, I would have become a teacher." And then she explained how she was not prepared for how much instructional work she has to do as a liaison librarian. With that being said, what takes up a majority of the liaison librarian's time at the library I observed are the instructional courses that they teach throughout the semester. These courses can be broad in subject by simply showing different departments how to access the specialized courses and subject guides for their department, or they can go into specific systems and program instructions for the more tech-heavy courses. These instructional courses vary in difficulty level from beginner freshman educational classes to graduate courses, although most library resources are geared toward undergraduate students at this library. One particular librarian I spoke with really stressed the importance of the liaison librarian's role in reference services because while they don't sit at a desk and answer questions, they help students, professors, and departments find the information they need to succeed when they may not even know that they need it. So to wrap this up, how is this all tied to reference services? Like I just mentioned, liaison librarians answer the questions that you don't really realize need to be asked. They teach patrons how to use library resources and to conduct research, so in other words, they make sure students know how to answer their own reference questions. They provide departments, professors, and students with subject-specialized knowledge and a large library with a large variety of resources so that they can pinpoint exactly what you need. They help students with specific assignments in their department. They often know the exact requirements and deadlines, making sure students receive the exact information they need in a timely manner. And they do just about any other information-related task that you can think of. Special projects, manning the virtual reference service, speaking at conferences, and even conducting research on their own. As a result, these Liaison librarians are redefining reference services as we know it and ensuring that reference work stays relevant in the world of library services. I hope that learning about liaison librarians was able to transform your definition of reference as it did mine. Thanks for listening to my presentation.